UFC Fight Night Macau, Yan versus Figueiredo takes place this weekend, and I'm going to go through the entire card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event, giving you my prediction and breakdown for every single fight on the card, starting with... I hate prediction videos. They just slow down all my other content. But this is actually a decent card. Maheshe Hayase versus Nicholas Motta is what the card starts with. I'm going to go with Maheshe, 24 years old, a lot larger than Nicholas Motta as well. Got a little bit of reach to play with there. Both guys haven't had the best of UFC careers so far. Maheshe lost by KO to Vyacheslav Borshev, who's pretty good himself. I reckon he would finish Nicholas Motta as well. He's coming off a split decision win over Gabriel Benitez. That doesn't look good to go to a split decision with Gabriel Benitez at this point. You know what? I'm going with Nicholas Motta. How dare you go to a split decision win? A split decision win with Gabriel Benitez in 2024. 23-11 Gabriel Benitez. I know he's dangerous and powerful, but come on. If you're going to be something... But then again, he knocked out Steve Garcia in the first round. This is the weird thing about Maheshe. But you know what? I'm going to side with Nicholas Motta. I'm going to say that he doesn't get KO'd early and he warms his way into the fight. I'm going to go with Nicholas Motta to start off the card. We move on. Up the card, Long Zhao versus Quang Li. Right then. What we're going to go with when it comes to Long Zhao versus Chang Li. His name's Quang Li. I swear I just said that as well. Quang Li is who I'm going to go with. He had more finishing potential on road to UFC. A lot more than Long Zhao, who seemed to scrape by a lot of close competitive decisions. He's definitely getting better. Younger guy, 26 years old, had a few attempts. Won some fights at WLF Wars, which is, I believe, where Shavkat Rakhmonov did a lot of his regional career. And he also fought at the great I Am the Champion promotion as well. Really creative with their names over there. Lost to Christian Quinones on the regional scene. Just lost to Chang Holy Chang, who's just a more religious version of his evil brother. I'm joking. I don't know what. I'm gonna go with Quang Li for increased finishing potential and dominance shown on the road to UFC show. We'll go Quang Li to start that one. We move on. Lona Kavanagh versus Jose Ochoa. I'm going to go with Lona Kavanagh. I actually think Lona Kavanagh is a savage. Now, although he's got a Chinese flag, he's born and raised in the UK, he's UK blood in him. But he has got a touch of Chinese in him. Therefore, he reps the Chinese flag. I love Lona Kavanagh, though. Rate him a lot. I'm pretty sure he's half. It's all good. Yeah, I like Lona Kavanagh, dude. I've been paying attention for a long time on the regional scene. He's got nasty combos. He has nasty highlight reel finishes. If you go through some of his finishes that he's got, a lot of you guys would be like, dude, the one he got on the Contender Series. I'm telling you this right now. I'm going to try and find the right name of the opponent that he got it against. The finish that he got where he was in and out on the 1-2 as he was countering this guy. He got the spinning heel kick to the body. I saw that one. Then I saw his decision. It might have been against Ryan Morgan. Ryan Morgan was the opponent. He finished him in round 3 with one of the nastiest KOs you will see in MMA. And it went viral for him. I like Lona Kavanagh. I think he's got nasty hands. The power that he's got for a flyweight is pretty good as well. I think that's going to give him an advantage over Jose Ochoa, who is young prospect himself, undefeated. You can't really talk about level of competition between the two of them because, I mean, other than the Contender Series, it wouldn't be much of an advantage for Lona Kavanagh, but he has fought 3 undefeated opponents back-to-back. His last 3 opponents have a combined record of 16-0. You know, 15-0 if you include the one before that, 16-0 before the one before that. So, Lona Kavanagh's definitely been for a little bit more tougher competition. I'm going to go with him to win the fight. Great ground game. Good takedown defense. I think you're going to need to be like a Cody Durden to beat Lona Kavanagh. Like, I don't think you're going to do this as another prospect. I think you're going to have to be like a gritty, crafty dude. A crafty vet. who's going to be able to run takedowns on him and wear him into the later rounds. I think it's going to take something like that. I don't see anyone beating him prospect for prospect here. You know, skill for skill. I'm going Lona Kavanagh, getting this one done by TKO. Early in the fight, I'll say round 1 or 2. We move on. Carlos Hernandez versus Temendemberel. I actually saw this guy's finish on the road to UFC where he's chasing the guy down. He rear naked choked him. And the guy went out in the rear naked choke and he let go of it. The guy face planted to the canvas. He was like stood on the back of the opponent. It was such a weird finish to get because the guy was like limp between his legs. And then he had kind of dragged the guy. Almost like how a cat would carry its kitten in a weird way. He's like dragged the guy by his head between his legs and was choking him out there. And then just let go of him and he flopped down towards the canvas. Really nasty finish that he got on the road to UFC. Undefeated dude, 8-0. Got some moment. Carlos Hernandez, been in the UFC for a while now. I am going to side with the undefeated newcomer. You know, you can't blame me for that. Carlos Hernandez is good. Put up a decent fight against Ray Tsuria, who I picked him against. But am I going to make the mistake of picking him here as well? Because, boy, do I want to pick him to be the upset in this fight. Because a lot of guys are going with this undefeated dude, but Carlos Hernandez is pretty good at making it tricky for people. Oh. I will go with the undefeated up-and-comer. I just think there comes a point where, you know, Carlos Hernandez is now 9-4. And even though he was technically good and regionally, like, good as a fighter, I think there comes a time of a change of mindset when it comes to, like, what you're training for and what you're doing your career for. I don't think he still has, like, title hopes in his future, Carlos Hernandez. Whereas when it comes to this new guy, 8-0, undefeated on the come-up, who's telling him otherwise? You know what I mean? I'm going to go with Temendemberel over Hernandez. We move on to another fight, which is Xi versus Feng, which is a really good matchup. And this is a matchup between Xiaocan Feng versus Ming Xi. I'm going to go against Ming here, guys, is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for Xiaocan Feng. I reckon she gets this one done. Ming Xi is 5'2" at flyweight or at strawweight. She's tiny. She's had a lot of losses in her career. She's picked up some wins. I'm going to find the level of comp that we're looking at here as well, because respectively the records aren't too different. She's 30 years old, catch wrestling, with some taekwondo mixed in, but she's 5'2". I'm going to trust in the physicality. This is like the Veronica Macedo versus Eduardo Mora fight. I'm going to go with Xiaocan Feng because she's larger. She's also younger, in her prime, coming towards her prime. I'm going to go with Xiaocan Feng getting this one done. I just farted right there and I'm speaking to cover it up. And, yeah, she got a knockout. Road to UFC, got a finish in the early round. Some submission ability, more finishing ability in general. Been 3.5 years since she's lost. I'm going to go with Xiaocan Feng winning this fight. We move on. Kiru Sahota versus Dong Hyun Choi. I'm going to go with Dong Hyun Choi over Kiru Sahota. I'm going to go with Dong. No Jones, guys. But I'm going to pick him to win this fight. Undefeated prospect. Kiru Sahota. There's potential. There's definitely some potential there, but I'm going to trust in Song as the undefeated up-and-comer. Seen Sahota lose a few times. He's from the UK, yeah? Yeah, she's from the UK. Kiru Sahota, huh? Looks like a rangy dude for the division. I'm going to be honest with you guys. 5'10" for a flyweight. Lanky. I'm going to go with Dong Hyun Choi. I don't like the look of that 5'10" flyweight frame. Right there. That seems like something that's going to get toppled over or crumpled with a body shot or a headshot. So I'm going to go against him. I don't trust being that lanky at flyweight. Royval pulls it off. He's got great cardio to go with it, but I'm going to go against him. He's been chinned before. He got beat by Scott Malone. I know that name. I'm going to go against him. I'm going to go against him, and I'm going to be picking the younger dude, Dong Hyun Choi. We move on Su Young-yu versus Balgyn Jenisuly. Right, this one. Christ, guys. What was this one again? I'm sorry, it's just like there's so many names now, and I'm just like, who did I research for this guy? I think I'm going with Jenisuly for this one, guys. Jenisuly is who I'm going to go with here, rather than Sung Young-yu. God, I should have given myself like a day of each, so I remembered each one. Okay, this dude, Buzzcut dude. I know this guy. We go way back, me and this guy. Nasty decision win on road to UFC, dude, over some good comp. You know, Nakanishi's no joke, guys. And how can we forget his great win over Sultanbek Orozamat with 3 U's in that surname. And of course, he has the win over Zhang and Zhao Fei Zhao and Ji Song and Kalinu Kadilimbeke. And how can we forget his win over Jinji Wang? And then back-to-back, he beat Zhang. And then Ji Song. And then Fei Yang. And then Yunbin Wen. That's a sick win. That was a sick fight. I remember that one. Then he had a sick fight against Yudi Gum. How can we forget his win over Javier Alawi? And then it just really comes down to the Tokitaka Nakanishi win that he has. That really sold it. Once I saw he beat him, I was like, am I going to be able to, in good conscience, pick Su Young-yu? Who I have a ton of respect for, and a great prospect himself, 28 years of age, of course, coming off a huge win over Shohei Knows. That was an epic performance. You know, Shohei Knows no joke on the regional scene, guys. Rumors of him spread from gym to gym. And then, of course, he has a great win over Yun Kyung Kim, Jinsi Lee. You guys will... I'm saying some household names here, guys. He actually went back and beat Jinsi Lee again, because one time wasn't enough in his regional career. Beat him again just a few fights later. They kept running into each other, 2 surgeon prospects. And then even on the amateur career, he beat Hung Woo Yang, Kung Ho Park, Sung-gu Kim, Si Yoon Kwon, Young Jae Song. I mean, the who's who. And the Hang Zhang of the divisions. Let's just be real. Not to say that he beat the great who's who, because, you know, no one's beating him over there. I'm going to go with Balgyn Jenisuly. Let's go with him to win. We move on. Ozzy Diaz versus Mingyang Zhang. It's Mingyang Zhang now. I am going to go Mingyang Zhang over Ozzy Diaz. Ozzy Diaz is like, every now and again, the UFC finds an athlete, and then, we got to find the skinny fat Mexican dude. And they just kind of put him in there alongside. He's pretty good himself. He got smoked by Joe Pyfer on the Contender Series. But he's had some decent wins since then. Chuck Campbell, Bevon Lewis. Bevon Lewis is a name that is like sort of permanently picked. I think he fought Uriah Hall at one point, did he not? He did. He was undefeated at one point. 5-0, fought Uriah Hall. Got chinned. Was winning the fight until he got chinned, by the way. Then went on a slide, and he's done nothing but lose since. And he's now 7-6. So I am going to be going against Ozzy Diaz. I'll go with Mingyang Zhang. Mingyang Zhang came into the UFC, I believe, beat Brenson Ribeiro in his debut in a bit of a firefight in the first round. Put him away. That's a solid win because it's a powerful dude to go 50-50 with. You know what I mean? In that first round. Knocked out Tuko Tokos, who shouldn't have really been in the UFC in the first place. Kind of got brought up on to save an event type shit. Yeah, I'm going to go with Mingyang Zhang. He knocked out Tuko Tokos on the road to UFC. I'm going to go Zhang. What fucking names am I saying? Mingyang Zhang is who I'm going to go with here. Big dude for the division. Nasty power in his hands. Good finishing instincts and finishing potential. I actually rate him as well as a prospect. 26 years old for that division. Light heavyweight. Tall dude. Yeah. Not that tall, but somewhat tall. Kind of tall. Not really the 6'4" frame we're looking for as a light heavyweight prospect. But hey, maybe that's overrated. I'm going to go with Mingyang Zhang though. Ozzy Diaz should get put away early here, I think. First round TKO for Mingyang Zhang. We move on. Volkan Oezdemir versus Carlos Ulberg. Yuck. This one's a tricky one to pick between. I know everyone's going to go with Ulberg, but man, it does smell like it could be a no-time fraud check right here from Volkan Oezdemir. You know how Oezdemir gets down? You know? You best watch what prospects you send to him, because you may not get some of them back. The great Johnny Walker was felled by Volkan Ozdemir's fists. The problem I have with Volkan Oezdemir is that he built in his entire career and the hype behind Oezdemir when he first came to the UFC and put together some wins and then got the fight with Daniel Cormier was that, dude, you can't get hit by anything from this guy. That was the narrative going into it. And, you know, since then, we're only really seeing a KO win over Johnny Walker, and he didn't get it over Paul Craig. If you're not exposing Paul Craig on the feet and flatline KOing him, I know he shot a lot of takedowns in that fight on Oezdemir, but can we knock him out on the feet here? Ulberg is going to be able to handle himself on the feet, in my opinion. I think Ulberg's a much more talented fighter out of the two of them. He's already 34 years of age, so it's kind of now or never in his career. If he loses now and gets like a 2-year setback to rebuild himself, it may be too late, but he trains at a good gym. And you know what the best thing to happen to Ulberg was? I was going to say this in like a stream, but I don't want to go live because I don't know why. It just feels like I enter this world where I'm something. I don't know, it's weird. It's like whenever I'm hovering over the go live button, it feels like my hand is on the handle of a door and there's a noisy party going on the other side of it. You know what I mean? It's really strange. I don't know why I can't go live after a massive event. Don't know. It is what it is though, isn't it? I'll be live soon. Let me get the videos done, you know, get back into the swing of things. Alonzo Manyfield, what are we saying? Oh, Ulberg. One thing I like about Ulberg is that a lot of his opponents, his teammates are fucking shit and losing. Israel Adesanya, many others in that gym, they're losing right now. Okay, they had Volk, they had Adesanya, they had all these prospects coming up. Now it's more of a prospect-focused gym. They need the next one to come up. It's not like everyone else is going to take a back seat. They've got to focus on Israel Adesanya's title fight again, which he has 4 times a year. Respect to him, how active he was, but that's got to take away some attention from some of the other guys in the gym. These guys are going to be getting full attention. The gym is looking for their guy who's going to be the next guy to come up. And Ulberg's sort of the front runner of that, you know? So I'm going to go with Carlos Ulberg getting this one done. I can see him winning a decision here over Oezdemir. I'm not going to say he gets a finish. I think he'll get a competitive 29-28 decision. We move on. Cong Wang versus Gabriella Fernandes. You know we rocking with Cong Wang, dude. Carilla. I'm not going to say the nickname that the MMA community has given her, but yeah. Cong Wang. Based. Aura. Power. KO ability, kickboxing background, wicked, jungle is massive. Come on. Cong Wang has got aura. She's going to face paint at the weigh-ins. Who knows what she's going to face paint as? Will she do it as the Joker again? One can only hope that the aura is continued. She did knock out Victoria Leonardo, though, and before that, she doesn't really have many KOs. So, but she did fucking beat that fucking old granny Valentina Shevchenko about the ring in kickboxing. In Kunlun fight 33. Lest you guys forget, dude. She owns that division. So I'm just going to say that she wins. Purely based on that. Listen, Gabriella Fernandes, she's strong. She's athletic. She trains at MMA Masters. They're a wrestle-heavy gym a lot of the time. Or they can grapple. It's not something that you look at a guy from that gym and think, oh, he's going to have a grappling weakness. But she lost to Jazz DeVicious. She lost to Teresa Blader. This is yucky. I'm going to have to go with Cong Wang to win this fight. And I'm going to say that she gets the KO just for fun. Let's see if we can get a women's KO streak going on. Maybe there'll be some hype. So yeah, I'm going to go with Cong Wang. We move on. Kenan Song versus Muslim Salikhov. You know what? If you asked me this a few years ago, I would have said Muslim Salikhov without a doubt in my mind. But as of lately, I don't know if I'm alone here or if other people are going to agree with me on this one. I'm starting to notice that Song Kenan's a little bit more tricky for people than we might have thought. You know what I mean? With the Ian Gary fight, Had him on skates in round 1. Kevin Jasay fight. That was a decision win, but he held his own. Beat the great Ricky Glenn. What am I saying? But he beat Rolando Bedoya, and I thought Rolando Bedoya beat Chaos Williams in his debut nearly. But it's all the other ones that I don't really like here. Max Griffin loss. I mean, Song Kenan's a bit of a hit and miss fighter. Muslim Salikhov's, I might have to go with Salikhov. What am I doing picking Kenan's Song? But then he goes to a split with Santiago Ponzinibbio. But Santiago Ponzinibbio is infinitely more respectful than some of the other names. And I don't think Song Kenan has the ability to, put him out like Randy Brown at range. I don't see that either. Yeah, I'm going to go with Muslim Salikhov, actually. What was I thinking? Are people thinking of going Song Kenan? I can feel it. Majority of people are picking Song Kenan to win the fight. I'm going to go Muslim Salikhov. Powerful, faster for sure. Getting old, so I kind of get the pick of Song Kenan. I know why people would be going towards it. How old is Muslim Salikhov? Is he 40 or something like that? Yes, he is 40 years old. But he's coming off a win. And he's been reasonably active. So is Song Kenan. And he's more active. We're doing a last-minute check on just how dominant the performance against Ricky Glenn was. Because he didn't finish him, and that's sus. Because Ricky Glenn is fucking awful. And a free win for anyone, even though he took Grant Dawson to a draw. And arguably should have finished him in that fight. You know how the sport goes, guys. Game's a game. Yuck. That's not dominance. It's a clear win. It's not the dominance we're looking for, Song Kenan. I'm going to have to go with Muslim Salikhov to win this fight. We move on. Up the card. Yan Xiaonan versus Tabatha Ricci. I'm going to go Yan Xiaonan. I think she has way better boxing. Tabatha Ricci could get this one done, but if anyone's going to have a bit of a crowd advantage, it is going to be Yan Xiaonan here. We're in China. If you guys didn't know, we are. But Tabatha Ricci, the bunda ain't swaying the judges this time. Okay? It's worked one too many times where she shaked it a few times around and all of a sudden a couple of scorecards go haywire. It ain't going to work this time. Okay? I'm going with Yan Xiaonan. I think she's got a boxing advantage. She keeps range a lot better. We're looking at the recent opponents of the pair of them, and I'm seeing that... I think I said Song Kenan. I meant Yan Xiaonan, I think. Either way. She lost to Lupita Godinez, Tabatha Ricci. Got a win over Tisha Pennington. A little bit of a robbery there as well, let's be honest. Angela Hill, she beat. That's a good win. Gillian Robertson. Jessica Penne, but she didn't beat Angela Hill. This is the thing about Tabatha Ricci, like... it's tough to pick against her for these reasons. But Yan Xiaonan is better at fighting than her. Surely that means something. And she's a lot larger. And she's got reach. And I don't think she's going to get taken down a bunch. And she's good on the feet. And she just fought Zhang Weili to a decision. Nearly got finished a few times, but dropped Zhang Weili. I'm going to have to go with Yan Xiaonan. She beat Jessica Andrade, finished her. Beat Mackenzie Dern. These are decent wins. I'm going to go Yan Xiaonan. And she arguably could have got a win over Marina Rodriguez as well. So there you go. I'm going to go Yan Xiaonan. Getting this one done by decision win. We move on. Up the card. Petr Yan versus Deiveson Figueiredo. I'm going to go with Petr Yan over Deiveson Figueiredo. If this was a 3-rounder, Deiveson Figueiredo pickers, I know why you would have went with him. 3-rounder, explosivity at its finest. Deiveson Figueiredo being powerful early on, trying to keep Yan at bay. Yan not really getting momentum going the way he should be doing. Maybe Figueiredo can get away with grappling a little bit early in the fight as well. And before you know it, he's sort of up 2 rounds, even though Yan got started at the end of the second. Yan has a hell of a 3rd round, but Figueiredo sticks it out. I could see a 3-round argument for picking Deiveson Figueiredo to win. You're stuck in there for 5 rounds with Yan if you can't finish him. And I don't see Figueiredo finishing Yan. We've seen Aljamain Sterling on his back not be able to get a finish in the submission area there. I don't think Figueiredo's going to be getting a guillotine win over Yan or anything like that. Anything from the north-south. I don't see Yan shooting takedowns here unless they're really sloppy later on into the fight and they're both tired. So I think we're going to see Deiveson Figueiredo lose. I think he's going to put up a really good fight. I think he's going to crack Petr Yan a few times early on. I think he's going to have Yan wobbled in a moment in this fight and then go for a finish, but Yan remains calm. That's where I think the downfall will be for Figueiredo. There will be ebbs and flows in this fight. Yan will monitor his cardio better when he has momentum. And Figueiredo, when he gets ahead, I can see him over-swinging, thinking he's got Yan more hurt than he has, looking for a finish. And then there's 4 rounds left, and Yan's getting better and better every round. I'm going to say that Petr Yan finishes Deiveson Figueiredo in round 4 or 5 to ground and pound, is what I'm going to say. I think there'll be moments like against Aldo where he's got Figueiredo covering up a bit and breathing heavy, and he's starting to grab the leg and trip out the rear leg and dunk him on the ground and sweep his leg out from underneath him. I think we're going to see vintage Yan in the later rounds, sweeping, tripping, dunking Figueiredo after he gets tired. I just don't think Figueiredo's got this one. I think you've kind of got to be you've got to be an O'Malley or a Sandhagen to beat Yan on the feet. You've got to outsize him. I was watching Marcus McGee versus Jonathan Martinez, and in the middle of it, I said, man, Petr Yan's very small for a bantamweight, isn't he? When it comes to Figueiredo, though, he has the same thing. Packs a lot of punch for his size. I just don't see him finishing Yan. You got to catch Yan with like a pull out of the way, catch him with his chin up in the air. Figueiredo's going to blast right down the middle. I can see Yan taking those shots all day. If Rob Font can take those shots, Yan can take the shots, you know? I'm going to go Petr Yan. Boxing too crisp. Better than Moreno. I swear, if I figure out at the end of this that Yan is worse than Moreno and Moreno clears Yan, I'll be very upset. There's a lot on the line here, though. I do want to say that. Petr Yan, Deiveson Figueiredo. Figueiredo's a champion at flyweight. Put together a decent run for himself at bantamweight now. Garbrandt, Rob Font, and then Marlon Vera back to back to back. Those are 3 solid wins that he shouldn't have even had to get. He was a former flyweight champ. He's moved up. Umar beats one. Sandhagen gets a title shot, though. It's one of those weird ones, but there's a lot on the line here. Former champion Petr Yan. Loser goes home and sort of vacates legacy talks for themselves. And the winner's going to have another solid name on their resume. A solid name on their resume. I just think that person's going to be Petr Yan getting the win over Figueiredo. 4th or 5th round TKO. Maybe there could be a decision based on the later rounds. I don't see it, though. I see a win for Yan, finish in the later rounds. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle Pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye.